Number 8, stocks. A financial genius puts her money in the stock market. I try not to give you word problems about myself, but sometimes I just can't help it. Okay. Where she likes to think her investment is earning interest continuously. Now, does that tell you anything?
Where she thinks.
That excuse me, that's the formula that we're going to use. Okay. So the formula is this. Okay, well, we know that that's not true because they're trying to be nice to you and round this to a nice, pretty number. We're not going to use this formula. Okay. We're going to use this formula because it's the one that we're used to, and it is the actual formula. So go ahead and cross that out. For some reason, this worksheet doesn't like to use an E. And you guys know, and I know, that E is 2.71828. We're just going to use E because that's what's actually happening. Okay? So an original investment of $12,000 was valued at $18,000 after 2 years. Find the continuous rate of increase. So, what do we know? Oh, no. P is what we start with, right? Okay, so what goes there? 12,000. Are you sure? Good, be sure. Okay, so 12,000 is here. E to the what power? 2 is the time, so definitely 2 is in the power. And what's the rate? Yeah, we don't know it, do we? That's what it asks us to find. So 2R. Well, what does it equal? What's A again? 18, right? What we end with, okay? So 18,000. So now how are we going to solve for R? Well, where is the R? It's in the exponent. How do we know how to solve for exponents? Logarithms. Perfect. Okay. So we know now that we need to isolate the base. How are we going to go about isolating the base? Absolutely, we divide. What are we going to divide? 12,000. So what is 18,000 divided by 12,000? Oh, look at that. You have your calculators out. I bet they're even on. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Just go and turn them on, and then do 18,000 divided by 12,000. Okay, so 3 over 2. Do you want to use 3 over 2, or is it okay for us to use 1.5? 1.5. When is it not okay for us to go to the fraction? I mean the decimal? When the decimal keeps going, right? Okay. So if it was like 1/3, we wouldn't want to go to the fraction because that keeps going. Okay. So we would use 1/3 in that situation. Well, this is 3 over 2. That's definitely 1.5. So we've got 1.5 equals e to the 2r power. Is the base isolated? Yes. So what should we do now? So we can put it in logarithmic form. Okay. So what is logarithmic form for this problem? Log base e. Oh, but we don't write that, right? Because that's ridiculous. Right. Natural log of 1.5 equals 2r. And to solve for r, what are we going to do? Divide it by 2. Okay? Remember, we're not going to find a decimal equivalent of natural log of 1.5 because we don't want to try to worry about rounding too early, right? Okay? So r is going to equal natural log of 1.5, enter, divided by 2. Or we could start with a fraction that is natural log. Oh, and just in case you didn't know, just making sure, there's a natural log button right here. You don't have to press ln. That was just a joke. I know. We'll have to tell him. Okay? So natural log of 1.5 divided by 2. So what I got for r, did you guys get 0.2027? Okay, now please answer the question that was being asked. Find the continuous rate of increase. So there's two ways we can answer this, right? We could say, oh, it is actually 0.2027, right? Or what else could we say? 20.27%. Which way is more correct? There's not one. It doesn't ask specifically for a decimal. It doesn't ask specifically for a percent, does it? Okay, so either one of these, either one of these answers is totally fine for this. Now, keep in mind that the next part of the problem says, at this rate, determine the value of the investment after a total of 8 years. Which one of these two answers are we going to need to solve part B? Definitely the decimal, right? Okay, so it's good that you know this. That's good. But this is actually what we're going to need for the next part of the problem, isn't it? Okay, so how do we set up the next part of the problem? What do we know in the next part of the problem? Yeah, we don't know A this time, do we? That's exactly what it's asking for. Okay, so A equals, good, 12,000. E, 8 times 0.2027. Oh, well, that's just super cinchy, isn't it? That's not asking us to use logarithms at all, right? That's asking us to use exponents. Ah, it's a good thing we already studied them. So we're saying 12,000 E raised to the 8 times 0.2027 power. So what did you get? 60,000. Okay, so is that the right answer? No, it's not, is it? Oh, yeah, it's dollars, so we need to make sure that we have our answer labeled. But that also means we need to change something, right? What do we need to change? Well, it's not really change. Yeah, we just have to add a 0, don't we? Because it's money, we need 2 decimal places, don't we? Does that make sense? Is there any questions about that?